All right, it's a beautiful day and it's time to plant some corn. So we got hooked up to the corn planter here. We actually planted a little bit of corn already. We planted the like 18 acres or so in at the other farm last week, and that went really great. So today we're gonna start planting here at the home farm and see how that goes. So this is our John Deere 7000 10-row planter. Yep, 10 rows. I know, it's weird. You'll have to check out some of our other videos. We'll explain about that more, but it is 10 rows and it's been working out pretty good for us. A couple things I want to get fixed up here. When we started planting last week, we should have used more of this fertilizer. This is liquid nitrogen with a stabilizer in it. That's why it looks a little blue, and we should have used more of that, and we didn't. So I'm thinking that there's something that's clogged up a little bit. So we're gonna pull apart these strainers here and see what those look like. I'm guessing maybe they're plugged up a little bit. That's just not flowing enough to the row unit. So we'll get that fixed up, and then otherwise I think we're ready to go. We'll get her filled up and head to the field. All right, we got the planter opened up because it's a little easier to access these guys when the planter's opened up. So I'm gonna grab a bucket, we'll pull them apart, see what they look like. Okay, I got these washed out. They actually weren't too bad, so we'll have to see. Maybe there's another problem. There was a section I actually forgot to turn the pumps on here, so maybe that was a bigger section than I thought. All right, I'm not going to turn the pumps on right now because it runs out in the driveway and makes stains on the driveway. So when we get out to the field, we'll kick the pumps on and see if everything's working right, and hopefully there's not an issue. But let's get some seed put in here. right, Dad's got everything all ready for us here. We got nitrogen on this tank, and we got the corn for the next field all here. We're looking for 75-39. That's it. All right, that's it. All right, we're out here in the field, all loaded up. I think we're ready to roll, so let's see what happens. One row unit, it's not. Better go check on it. So on our monitor I can see if it's dropping seed on all the rows, and this last row unit, it's not showing that it's dropping any seed. It is engaged, so, and if this one is dropping seed, then this one must also be dropping seed, so I mean must be turning. Let's just give it a little bit of time here. Maybe that hopper was empty and it takes some time to work some seed into it. All right, well, we're having some trouble with the one seed tube sensor. Row unit 10 is not giving a signal on the seed tube, so we haven't even made it one round yet. I know it seems like no time to you, but we've been out here for a little while. So we switched seed tube sensors. We switched the whole seed tube actually. So I just swapped row 8 and row 10. We know row 8 is working and was running fine, so I switched it with 10, and we're gonna try it now and see what happens. If it moves, the problem moves to row 8, then we know it's the seed sensor. If it doesn't, then I don't know. So we'll see. We already switched the harness around, so we tried a different section of the harness. That didn't work and stayed with the row unit. So let's give it a shot and see what happens. All right, looks like the problem went to row 8. Was on 10. See back there? Went to row 8. So looks like maybe it's a sensor. Okay, so we do have another sensor. I don't know that it's good because we had swapped it out before, but once we swapped it out before, we realized that it wasn't the sensor that was the problem. So hopefully that sensor is good. We're gonna swap out this sensor and see if that does it. It is just a sensor issue. The seeds are going in the ground. We dug up seeds, everything is there, so that looks good. So, but it's just a bummer not to have that feedback from the planter, because then we don't know anything about that row unit. We don't know if it is or if it isn't working. So it's pretty important that we get that working. So let's swap this sensor out, see if that does it for us. The bummer is that we have full hoppers because we're just starting this field, so we filled up the hoppers. We got a full bag in here, so it's not so easy to pull these guys out, but we can do it. All right, so down in here is our seed tubes. This is the sensor wire coming up, plugs in right here. So we're gonna pull this guy out because apparently this guy is the bad one, because it moved with the sensor. The problem moved with the sensor, that's what I mean. don't think that you're really supposed to have to take this bolt out, but we have upgraded sensors here, and I don't know that this planter was designed necessarily for these 3-pin. Cut our zip ties loose here. Got one more here. Okay. Okay, here's our, now this was a used sensor, but I think it might still work. So we're gonna try it because it's the one that we have. If it doesn't work, then we'll have to run and get a sensor, and that is a bigger deal. Okay, so there's our sensor that is not working. Get rid of that one. Here's our sensor that might still be working. See, the way these sensors work, I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's a little eye here and there's a receiver on this side, and it kind of shoots a beam through there, and when the seeds break the beam, then it counts that as a seed. So that's how that works. You know what? Look at this. This is the one we just took off, and look how dirty it is. Maybe that's our problem. Do we risk it? I think we might want to try that. It's really dirty. Okay, so I cleaned it off. I think we're going to try it again. Okay, let's try that. Sorry, I knocked you down. I'm trying to put this pin in here. Can't really see. Oh, there it is. Okay, got our seed tube down in there. Okay, I guess we'll see what happens there. That's my guess, is that maybe that just sensor was so dirty. Here, I'll show you. So here's the sensor. And there's a little window right there. See that window right there? And then there's these three little, looks like LEDs over here. I don't know what they do, but maybe they're little. So it needs to see from this side into that side, but I'm guessing it just couldn't do that because it was too dirty. You guys notice my new ride here? Pretty excited about this. New to me, of course, but the neighbor was selling it and I saw it and I thought, you know what, we need a four-wheeler at the farm here, so we picked this up. So far it's been good. We had to do a little work on it. There was some electrical problems. We got that all fixed up, I think, and so far it's been working out pretty good. All right, let's give this thing a shot. Still problem. All right, well, I thought it was worth a shot. Turns out it must not have just been dirty. It must have been a problem. So we're gonna swap it out with the one that we have here and see if that does anything. Look at this. We sheared the bolt on the marker. I'm not sure why. I guess just from starting and stopping, but here's our bolt. So we'll fix that too, I guess. Okay, I'll put back together with the other sensor in there, so see what happens. All right, well, we're rolling now. Turns out it was that sensor. It was a bad sensor. So we put the sensor in that we had swapped out before, that I thought might still work. Put that in, and it's running great now. So had a little bit of trouble with the fertilizer system. I think it just needed bled. That's working out also. So yeah, things are going smooth again. So hopefully we can get this field done today. I'm not sure if we're gonna run out of day or not. Just came out, filled me up with nitrogen again, so tanks are full, and that should last us to the end here. So we have 12 and a half acres done already. This is a 26 acre field, so we're about half done, and I'm not sure if we're gonna get it done tonight. We have a community worship event tonight that I really want to go to, so I think we might go to as long as we can, then we'll shut her down and finish up in the morning, I guess. We got 16.7 acres done here, and I think we're gonna call it for the evening. It's almost 6:30, and we have a worship thing tonight, so we're gonna do that, and then we'll finish this up in the morning. All right, well, that went pretty good once we got rolling there. Fortunately, it was a little bit of a slow start. Put us behind a little bit, but it's fine. The weather's great. It's not gonna hurt to finish it up tomorrow, so we're gonna do that. So now I'm hoping that Jaden will come get me on the four-wheeler, because I did something to my knee, and it's a little bit of a walk back. I'm just gonna leave the planter sit here. That way I know exactly where I'm at in the morning. Sometimes when you come back the next day, it's just a little bit harder to see your marker line because the dirt dries up, and when the dirt's fresh turned, then it's a little darker, you can see it. So I'll just leave it here, and hopefully I get a ride here soon. Thank you. I like, there's something on my knee. It's gonna be a long walk home if I have to walk the whole way.